Hey everybody, welcome to part two of the 2024 Mindset Reset. Yesterday we talked a little bit about the mind control and the way that we've been programmed all our lives to think, to focus on negative, and you get what you focus on. So today we're gonna pretty much same thing, but look at it in a different way and look at some of the other things that they're subtle. But again, the subtle things, it's like resetting those, making the norm becomes an old norm, and then you have a new norm in the totally wrong direction. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Pam. I'm an intuitive healer and a spiritual life coach. And I'm here to help people with the awakening process. So this is the year to get our minds right, to get our minds in the right place. Sorry, a truck was going by and I knew my dog was going to bark. But when you're thinking about, you can look at the smallest thing that happens in your life, and you can look at it either as a good thing or a bad thing. And you can either find positive in it, or you can dwell on it and find negative just about in everything. But what is coming up, and the reason all of these things are happening, and with the energy shifts, it's to get us to reprogram our minds to focus on the positive stuff, not the negative. And our minds are like a computer. They really truly are. So it's time to just reboot the whole computer, dump all the old software, all the old programming, everything that you've learned to now, and download. And that's what we're getting, is downloads from the creator, from God, from source. Call it whatever you want to call it. This is what is happening. So I'm here to help everybody through that, because some people are getting the downloads and they're running with them, and some people are getting downloads and then they're blowing them off because they don't understand what they are. So the thing I want to focus on today is you have to, and I don't want to just say you have to love yourself, because it's easier said than done. And I know when I first heard, well, you have to have self-love, Pam, I thought, well, I do love myself. But I didn't. I didn't realize how much I didn't love myself until I started going through my awakening and my journey. And then I found out that I really didn't love myself. And so now I have come to a place where I do love myself. And that doesn't come from ego. That doesn't come from an arrogant, I'm better than that, I'm better than you, I'm better than anybody else, or I'm better than anything. I'm not. I just love me. I'm very happy with who I am. And I'm still improving. I continue to improve. I continue to evolve every day to become even better. But that doesn't mean I'm not happy with who I am now. So one of the things that I heard through my journey, and it has become extremely powerful for me, is the power of words. And I know I've said this to some people and they don't get it. But when you get it, it will shift your entire world. Because, what's his name? Dr. Emoto did a study on water where he put water droplets under a microscope after speaking different things to water. And he would say things like, I love you, or you're beautiful, or you're confident, positive things. And the water crystals look like snowflakes. They were absolutely beautiful. And you can Google this. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Google. It's very well known. But then he took other water, and he spoke ugly, hateful things to him, like, I hate you, I want to kill you, you're ugly, things like that. And those water droplets, when put under a microscope, were completely distorted. They were brown, they were ugly. It was disgusting. So it's proof, and people have done it with plants. They've taken a plant, two plants, same identical plant, put one in one room, put one in another room. One of them you speak love and light. The other one you spew vile hatred. The love and light plant thrives. The one that you speak hateful stuff to dies. So and when you think your body is 60 to 70% water, think about what you're saying, how it's impacting your body. So if you're constantly sick, what are you saying to yourself? Are you in a good place? That was one of the hardest things that I had to break, because I had a horrible habit of saying, well, that's stupid. I would call myself stupid. I would call other people stupid. I would call everything stupid. And it's not, it was a hard habit to break, but I broke it. I don't say that anymore. And it's funny because my husband and I will catch each other if we say something, because I told him when we got married, I said, one of the things that I will not tolerate is being condescending, speaking negatively to yourself, to anybody else, to me, any of it. I said, I just won't, I'm not even going to go there. So I said, and you can't knock yourself. So it's been a process, but I went through the same process because I was always knocking myself. Well, when you knock yourself, you're not boosting yourself up. You believe what you say. And it's, if you don't believe me, Google it. But it's the power of words is crazy. But we've been geared to think negatively and to knock ourselves and to knock other people, even in a joking manner. You just don't even go there. That's because when you, and especially if you want to manifest anything, again, you have to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And if you don't want unworthiness, don't think that you're unworthy, or don't say, well, I'm just not worthy, because then you are sending that vibe out to the universe that you're not worthy. So shift, and that's a lot of the healing work that I do, is to help eliminate the limiting beliefs and the fears and things like that, and shift them to positive. So think, I am worthy. I am powerful. I am deserving. I am, whatever positive thing you want to say, and start catching yourself when you start knocking yourself or somebody else. So and just to show you that I'm not the only one that says this, Mother Teresa said she didn't want anything to do with an anti-war movement. She said, now, if you have a pro-peace movement, I'll be there. Because, again, you get what you focus on. Anti-war is still focusing on the war. Anti-racism is still focusing on racism. Debt-free, oh, I want to be debt-free. You're still focusing on the debt. And when you, I know some of this doesn't sound like a big deal, but it really truly is. It really is. I mean, because that's just one word. But then when you go back over your vocabulary and look how in a day, how many of those types of things that you say, it will blow your mind. It's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. But that's how we've been taught, you know? So instead of saying, like I said, with Mother Teresa, instead of saying anti-war, she was pro-peace. Instead of saying anti-terrorism, say world peace. And anti-racism, equality. We're all equal. We're all one. Oneness. Instead of debt-free, say financial freedom. It makes a whole, it may not seem like a lot of a difference, but it truly is. And when you say, because I had someone correct me one time because I said, well, I don't want to do that. And she said, say, I choose not to do that. She said, because then you're taking your power back. And if you think about it, it's like, wow, okay. Because I do not want to sounds like you're trying to make me do something that I don't want to do. So I'm giving you the power. When I say I choose not to do it, I've taken my power back. And it's, I'm telling you, it works. So those are just a few things. I'm sure you guys can think of a million more things where we focus on, you don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution, focus on what you want. And when you can look at the bigger picture, okay, I'm back to my notes. Look at the bigger picture, because everything truly does happen for a reason, and things happen for you, not to you. And when you can look at the things that happen and find, you probably won't find it in the moment. When you're going through it, you're not going to see that it's happening for you. But if you can step back and say, you know what, this is a moment in time. It's not pleasant right now, but it will get better. It is getting better. And you will get yourself out of it. And then once you're out of it, when you can look back on it and find it was your life path, you had a lesson to learn, something. You got something out of it. You became a better person because of it. Therefore, it's not a bad thing. Like I said yesterday, it's not bad. It's bad is a perspective. It depends on where you are on the side of the equation. Because, like I heard somebody say the other day, and I'll give you their example, not mine. But they said, if you're driving down the road and your car breaks down, that's a bad day for you, right? Well, you take your car to the shop, to the mechanic, that's a good day for him, because you just gave him business. So your bad became his good. So therefore, it really wasn't bad. You helped somebody else. Now, does it suck for you in the process? Yeah. Just like when my car broke down. Did it suck for me in the process? a little bit, but I knew it would get better. And I got a new car that's much better than my other car. So, I mean, it happened for a reason. So I don't look back and go, oh my God, now I've got a car payment. Oh my God, now it's this. No, it's, you know what? It'll be okay. It will all work out. The universe always looks out for me. They have always taken care of me, and they always will. Everything always works out. And when you can come with that mindset, things get a whole lot easier. And the things that have unfolded so far in 2023 are only small portions of what's coming in 2024. Obviously, I'm not in charge of it because I would have flipped that switch a while back. But again, everything happens when it's supposed to. But I know a lot of us are really ready for disclosure, awakening, whatever you want to call it. Whatever's coming, we're ready because the old corruption has got to go away. And it's going to rock the world. It really is. So like I said, when that happens, if you're in a negative mindset, it's going to be harder on you, much harder. And some people aren't going to make it. Some people just, they're not. But again, it's their time to go. You know, and I'm not making light of anyone that's lost anyone. But when you can see the bigger picture and you understand that they're not gone, they're just not here in the physical, they're still here. Their energy is still here. Because remember what I said yesterday, everything is energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. You are energy. You weren't created and you're not going to be destroyed. And I'll explain that a little bit more. But like I said, so there's no bad. Don't look at things as bad. Because there is a light somewhere. It just might not be shining on you at that moment. So, and don't blame people. There's no fault. It's a choice. You know, you have free will. You have a choice to stay in a situation or leave the situation. You have that choice. You have a choice whether you want to watch my YouTube or watch somebody else's. Or not watch YouTube at all. You have a choice. Instead of blaming people, set boundaries. That's huge. I've had to work on that myself. You know, you set boundaries. That way you don't end up being the one that's always left holding the bag. And give yourself love, self-love. Self-love and boundaries are two critical things for you to protect you. And again, none of this comes from ego. All of this comes from love, self-love, God's love. Because when you're setting boundaries, you're taking back your power. Remember that yesterday, the analogy of, you know, you set a boundary and then somebody comes in and pushes it a little bit further and then that becomes a new norm. Well, we've allowed the boundary to keep being pushed and pushed and pushed. We've lost our control. We've lost our power. Take your power back. Set boundaries. And that's not from being an asshole. That's just self-love. That's self-respect. Set boundaries. Forgive. Forgiving is huge. Forgiving someone doesn't condone the behavior. It doesn't go, oh, you know what, that's okay. I forgive you. It's okay what you did. No. It has nothing to do with that at all. Forgiving someone releases their power over you. Because if you think about, if you're angry with somebody because they did something to you, you're angry. That's a low vibration. You're carrying this low vibrational energy. They've gone on about their business. They don't care anymore. They did it, they're gone. It was a hit and run. They're out. They left you holding this bag of low vibrational energy. Dump the bag. Get rid of it. Forgive. Cut the cord. Forgive. Drop the bag. Let it go. It doesn't mean you have to be best friends with that person. It doesn't mean you have to have them back in your life. It doesn't mean any of that. You are just releasing the negative energy and forgiving them and letting it go. And then move on with your life. And I'm telling you, I've done this with people that I thought I would never, ever be able to forgive in my life. And when you forgive them, it is literally like a weight lifted off your shoulders. It's like the world's lifted off of you. And my husband told me the same thing. Because there was a situation he was dealing with, and when we got done, I said, you know, how do you feel? And he's like, it is like the world's been lifted off of me. And I said, yeah. So that's how powerful forgiveness is. You've got to release that weight. Fear, worry, stress, all of that comes from a lack of faith. Because if you're fearful or you're worrying about something, you're telling God, I don't trust you. I don't trust that you've got this for me. I have to handle this. Wayne Dyer has he was one of them I spoke about yesterday. He has an amazing analogy, and I'm going to cut it short because his is a little bit longer. But you think the first 9 months of your life, did you do anything? No, you were in your mother's womb. Everything was taken care of for you. Everything. He said, and then you come out, and then it's like, okay, God, I got this. And you want to take over. It's insane. And I'm not saying sit back on the couch and eat bonbons and do nothing. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But don't worry. You know, the Bible even says, what is it? I'm not one to like throw up a bunch of scriptures. So the main gist is if God's going to take care of the sparrow or bird or whatever, if he's going to feed the bird, why isn't he going to feed you? He's going to make sure you're taken care of. As long as you're doing something to help. He's not going to feed you while you're sitting on the couch doing nothing. So, and as far as fear, that's one of those things. The Bible says, I think like 365 times, fear not. Jesus said, fear not, for I am with you, because he's here. He's inside of every one of us. God is inside of every one of us. So fear not. You know, and yet the Bible says to fear Satan, fear evil, fear the Lord. Seriously? You can't have it both ways. You can't fear not and fear at the same time. To fear or not to fear? Take your pick. So I choose not to fear. You know? And hang on one second. Okay, sorry, I had to plug my phone in. So, fear not. You know, don't fear anything. Nothing. Because, as most of us know, What we're living is a matrix. It's an illusion. So trust that God's got you, that the universe has you, the creator, source, whatever you call the ultimate power of all that is. People worry about dying. You're eternal. You are an eternal being. Your physical body, it dies, but you live on forever. You've been here before. You've always been here. You will always be here. So, again, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's just transformed. It's like when a tree falls in the forest. It doesn't just vanish. It becomes part of the ground again, or mushrooms grow out of it, or moss grows on it, or something. The energy is transformed into something else. So don't fear dying. If there are YouTube, like I said yesterday, you can watch YouTubes. There are YouTubes. Alex Ferrari, like the car, does interviews with a lot of people that have had near-death experiences. They cross to the other side, and then they come back, and they talk about their experience and what they learned and all that kind of stuff. And they all say, it's beautiful. There's nothing but love on the other side. Nothing but love. So we just come through a veil of forgetfulness when we come into this world, because if you knew what you left, you wouldn't want to be here, because it's so heavy and dense, and it's compared to the other side, it's not pleasant. But you make the best of what you've got. You came here for a reason. Make the best of every moment. Debt. You're not supposed to owe anybody. You're really not. Debt was designed to make the banks money. And when I was a financial analyst, I used to tell people, what are any city you go into, what are the two biggest buildings in the city? Banks and insurance companies. And yet we've got people living on the streets. Lack and finite. Don't think in lack. The universe is infinite. It goes on forever. If you got to the furthest star that you could see and you looked, there would be another star even further away. And then you get to that one and the same thing. It goes on and on and on. There are so many galaxies and so many universes that we don't even know about. So the universe is infinite, and the universe loves you. And it's here to support you. So don't think about lack. Think about abundance. And like I've said in many of my videos, don't ever let somebody tell you your dreams are too big or you're crazy for dreaming whatever. You have that dream for a reason. Go achieve it. You put forth the effort and believe that it will happen, and the universe will help you get there. I've done it time and time again in my life. And it's, now my vision is expanding because I was dealing with a limiting belief that I was only worth this. I was only worth what I've had. No, I'm worth so much more, and so are you. And again, that doesn't come from ego. So And as far as working, there is a saying that if you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. And that's where we're supposed to be. Everybody has a gift. Everyone has a passion for something. Find your passion and do your passion. If you do your passion, you will be the wealthiest person in the world because you will be rich beyond, and it's not just about money. Money won't, it's not about the money. Yes, the money will come, but you have to be happy because you can have all the money in the world and still be miserable. So be happy, and then the money will come. But don't be a slave. Don't think you got to go work. That is the messed up mindset that we've been force fed our whole lives. All of this is the messed up mindset that we've been force fed our whole lives. And it's shifting, and it's time to shift. As far as division and differences, yes, we all have differences, but there is no division. We are all one. It's all one. Just because you're a woman or a man, or you're a different color, a different race, a different religion, a different whatever, you have a difference. It doesn't mean you're not human. And Bob said something the other day. He read something that the word human comes from humane. And I laughed and I said, we are the most inhumane species on this planet. If you think about it, there's nothing humane about most of us. It's pretty sad, but that's where we have come from. We've been geared to think about survival of the fittest and, what's in it for me and how can I get ahead and how I'm going to cut your throat because if you're in my way, and this is where lack comes from, because you think there's only so many positions. So I have to get to this position. The only way I can get to this position is if I eliminate this guy because he's above me. Well, you know what? Maybe this position isn't for you. Maybe it's somewhere in another company that's better. We were driving around a couple days ago, looking at houses, just driving through the neighborhoods, up through the mountains and stuff. And I laughed and I said, you know what? This is crazy. Look at all these houses. I said, none of them are what we're looking for. And I said, this is exactly, when you think, well, this is what I want, but I'll never get it because somebody else is going to get it first. Nobody else wants exactly what you do because nobody else is exactly like you. So there are infinite possibilities, but we've been brainwashed to think that there's finite. You can only get this. You're only deserving of this. And then we go into a panic because, oh my God, I didn't get this job. Oh my God, I didn't get this house. Oh my God, I didn't get this. Oh my God. It's okay because there's a reason, because there's something better waiting for you. You just haven't gotten to it yet. So, and material items and addictions. And I know this one's going to be hard to swallow. No pun intended for the addictions. But they come from the lack of self-love and the lack of God, because you are trying to fill a void. You will never have enough material items. You will never be able to take enough drugs or drink enough alcohol or whatever your drug of choice is. There's never enough to fill that void of emptiness until you have self-love and you have realize that God is in you and that you are God. And again, that's not, when I first said that I am God, it seems like an ego thing. Like you're all that. No. When you realize the true essence of who and what you are, because God created you in his image. God is energy. You are energy. It's like the ocean. The ocean is a gazillions and gazillions of drops of water. God is the ocean. You're a drop in that ocean. So you are God, and God is you. Now there is an ultimate creator that is all of us together. And we are experiencing life, this life, for God. God is experiencing this life through me, through this being right here. And because the other day I was trying to wrap my head around this. And I was like, okay, God, give me something to work with. And all I hear is, be still and know that I am God. And it hit me like, oh my gosh. Because the I am God, you say I am whatever. I am happy. I am sad. I am Pam. I am whatever. I am God. And when you realize that you are God and God is living the experience through you, it makes you shift your entire mindset. Because then, and I have to tell you, I mean, I was sitting here and thinking, I'm God, and you're God. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. Nobody's better than anybody. We are all equal. Jesus even said that. And Jesus isn't better or worse. We're all the same because he was I am as well. He was God. You know that. You're God. He was God's son. Well, guess what? So are you. We're all God's children. But somewhere in the translation of the Bible, we lost the concept that Jesus was God's son and we are God's children. What's the difference? People don't ask, what? Why? No. What's the difference? We're all God's children. We're all, and if Jesus was God, then so are you, and so am I. And again, if you go into ego, you better knock that chip off your shoulder, because if you don't, the universe will, because it's not about ego. It's about humbleness and understanding that you are a divine being. You are a spiritual being living in a physical body. And I was sitting here thinking, it just brightens my whole everything to think that I get to live this for God. That is an honor. It's like, oh my God. He picked me to live this existence. Be the best you can be. God, you owe him that. You owe God that. If you owe anything, that's what you owe. You owe it to yourself. He picked you to have your experience, whatever that was, whatever that is. So, because God can't experience what you experience, he can't live that experience except but through you. Because no two people are the same. Two identical twins are still different. They will each take an experience and put their own personality behind it. So God gets to experience life through all of everybody. So again, where does that make anybody better than anybody else? It's just a different experience. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's, you know. So that, anyway, that's where I am. If you feel like you're in a bad place, try to laugh. Find gratitude in the small things. Laughter is the best medicine. It will help. I know the other night, my husband and I we'd gone somewhere and we both ended up getting sick. And I told him, I said, you know what, it's hard not giving energy to a fever and feeling like crap when you feel like you've been hit with a truck. But I'm really trying not to send energy to this. I'm really trying to be positive and know that it's happened. I'm letting the energy of the illness run through me and not get stuck. So, but at least we can laugh about it. I mean, I was miserable because I felt like crap, but you know what? It's okay. I'm better. I knew I would get better. And have gratitude, even for the smallest thing. Everybody has something to be grateful for. You're here. You're breathing. You have a child. You didn't have a child, but you have an animal. You have something. And back, one thing I meant to tell you on the words. The words have power. If you have a question about whether you should say something or not say something, the saying, what would Jesus do? Let that run through your mind. Because if Jesus would say it, then it's probably okay. Because Jesus was nothing but love. Just like God. God is nothing but love. God isn't standing there in judgment. There is no wrath of God. The only wrath comes from you. You are the only one that judges you. You're the only one that's supposed to judge you. And you're not even supposed to judge yourself. You're just supposed to love yourself. And if a situation didn't go the way it was supposed to, change it. Fix it. Love yourself for the experience. Give yourself grace. And go at it again. Daniel. Hi. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for today. Not really sure what I'm going to do after this, but like I said, just remember, if you are God, which you are the creator of your experience. You can't blame anybody else. That's what we've been, again, the messed up mindset is blaming it on somebody else. It's somebody else's fault that you are where you are. No, it's nobody's fault but yours. And it's not your fault. It was a choice you made, decisions you made that put you in that situation. Learn from it, bless it, and move on. Because you create your existence. If you don't like the existence you're in, change it. And the biggest thing is changing your mindset. Because like I said, the messed up mindset that we've had for all these thousands and thousands of years, it was for their agenda. And like I said yesterday, it's not us. Technically, there's not us and them, because we are all one. We are all of God. We are just different drops in the ocean, but we're all the ocean. So change your mindset. You know, think positive. Focus on what you want, and let what you don't want go. So anyway, I think that's about it. But find the beauty in the chaos, because you're going to need that this year. So I'm here to help anybody through this, to help you shift your mindset, to help you see the bigger picture, to help you eliminate the limiting beliefs. Because honestly, and I don't say things just to blow. I know my husband and I watch a bunch of YouTubes, and we take what resonates, we leave the rest. And there are some people that don't resonate, and they spew a bunch of, oh, well, go do this and go do that and go do the other, but you don't see the results. You don't know that it's really happening for them, like manifestation and things like that. I don't tell you things just to blow sunshine up your skirt. I tell you things because I've lived it. I've done it. I do it. And it works. I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I haven't done. All of these things are things that I've shifted, and I'm in a much better place. And my husband is talking to him on the phone today. I swear, every day, he amazes me. Watching the transformation in him, sometimes I sit and I go, God, I wish I could be that good. Don't tell him I said that, though. But that's not knocking me, because I have my strengths. He has his and I have mine. And the two of us together, you don't want to mess with it. We're both fire signs. So it's a force to reckon with. But we're on fire for the right reasons. So anyway, sending you lots of love, sending you lots of light. And until the next video, hang in there. It will get better. Just keep thinking that. It's getting better. All this craziness is happening for a reason. And it's a very good thing. It needs to happen. It needs to go away. So anyway, I will talk to you later.